This is Agricultural Research Council of Nigerian Television. My name remains Joshua Isha, your host on your darling program, Aqua Farming. Aqua Farming is a program that brings to you all you need to know that is in the water. So it can be crabs, frogs, fish, shrimps, call them whatsoever is in the water. Believe me, in fact, even octopus sometimes we can actually bring that to you. But today we happen to find ourselves in a very, very ultra modern fish pond. And of course, today the topic we'll be discussing is fish grow out. Fish grow out generally is what you really need to know if you are a small fish farmer out there, so you can actually know how to navigate and of course end up having a bountiful harvest after it's all said and done. So stay tuned and relax. Of course, we're going to be talking to a fish expert. Believe me, he's an expert when it comes to fish business, and he's going to be telling us more on this. Let's go on this.
Fish grow out is a system of you as a farmer. Literally, the meaning of fish grow out is a system where you, as intending farmer, goes to a hatchery farms to pick juveniles to grow fish to table size. It's growing of fish from hatchery or for juvenile to table size. That's all about fish grow out.
Okay, what is the process to actually take out a proper fish grow out, like as someone that can actually watch and then understand that okay, this is what it takes to grow out fish from juvenile to what is the proper procedure?
Well, one of the mistakes most young farmers do it, they don't actually have the technical know-how. What you need to understand if you want to actually go into fish grow out, it's simple. Most farmers went to a farm to pick. They want to buy 1,000 fingerlings. Now, after they purchase 1,000 fingerlings, the next thing you need to know is how much do you have to grow out this 1,000 fish. Now, when you have a 1,000 fish, when I want to grow out 1,000 fish in my farm, definitely the least price I will have it's 500,000. Now, if I have 1,000 fish and I have 500,000 to feed them, that means each of those fish for the years or for the month, maybe 4 months, 5 months they will be with me, they've only consumed 500 naira per one. So most farmers just venture into it and they don't really have the actual calculation of how fish grow out is. Now, at the early stage of first 2 months, the fish with 500,000, they ought to consume what? 4 bags. That's for 1,000. Now, at 3 months, they will consume another 4 bags. Now, at 3 to 4 months, they will consume 15 bags of 4 mm. Now, when you calculate this money put together, you'll be having 45 bags upward. That is when you, as a fish farmer, will have your resources and also your interest back to you. But when you have a fish, literally, and you feed your fish with 400,000, That means at your pond, at that particular fish with that 1,000, they've consumed only what? 400 naira. If you have 300,000 to feed 1,000 fish, that means each fish has consumed what? 300 naira. Do you understand that? So if you have 500,000 in your hands, that means you have a total of what? 500 naira per each one feed that they have consumed. That is my explanation on that.
So now, generally, say you want to do fish pond, and then you are actually in the dark. How do you make this very calculation you talk about? How do you calculate the food that this eats and this and this?
That's why I said the simple way. It's just simple. You have 500. You have 1,000 fish. When you have a 1,000 fish, or before you enter into having a 1,000 fish, what you need to do is how much do you want to spend on your fish? That's the first thing you need to understand. How much resources do you have that you want to spend on this catfish?
Okay.
So I am just trying to tell you that if you have 400,000 and you have 1,000 fish, that means for one particular fish, what they've consumed in your hand is 400 naira. If you have 500,000 and you spend on 1,000 fish, that means each one of those fish has consumed just 500 naira.
But is that possible?
Yes. But
To
most
the point of selling?
Yes.
Like 1 kg?
Yes.
Yeah.
For that 500, the fish has consumed about 45 bags. And when you calculate, now, for instance, now, this is what they don't really understand. I have 500,000. I invest 500,000 or maybe 600,000. I invest 600,000 to my fish. Now, after I invest 600,000 to 1,000 fish, with good water quality, good pond, good management, I have a good breed of feed or fish. Now, what you need to understand here now is this. The sales price of 1 kg of fish is between 1,000 to from 1.2 to 1.5. So remove 500 naira from what you spend per each one fish. How much is your gain there?
700.
That is what I'm trying to explain.
Okay, so but now, is it that the feed you're talking about, you end up improvising or making local feed? Or
Proper feed.
Mr.
But
Victor, how possible is that?
Okay.
Let's say now let's do 200 fish. Let's do 200 fish. It means how much do you need?
Now, when you have 200 fish in your pond, that means each one feed you can have 200 naira. You can rear them to table side with 200 naira. So when you multiply it, how much do you have?
Wow.
So that means if I have 200 fish in my pond, I can use 200,000 to rear them. That means each one feed will consume 200 naira in my pond. The table size. It's all about calculation. It's all about when you have good people, people that have the system of rearing, they will do the calculation for you, and you'll be safe of all these. My fish did not grow out. I spent so amount of money. No, it's simple. It is.
So how farmers end up making those mistakes you're talking about?
See, this is what farmers make the mistake at the early stage of fish. They eat. If I have 1,000 fish, I knew before they graduate from 2 mm, they will not consume more than 4 bags. So some farmers will go ahead to because they bought 4 bags. Do you understand me? Now they go ahead, maybe buy 6 bags. They continue with 2 mm, whereby they're supposed to have changed to another feed. And some of them give their feed 2 times, 3 times or 4 times daily. You feed your fish morning and evening, and your result will be out. You don't need to feed fish 3 times. No, you feed in the morning. Proper feeding. Proper feeding. You stand till they are satisfied. In the evening, you feed them. Proper water management. Your fish will grow out within 4 months. Be ready to sell. That's just the truth.
Okay, recently there is this hybrid of fish that has come out. People call them hybrid because in less than 6 weeks they tend to be very to your surprise. Have you come across that fish, and how true is that very finding?
We have hybrid even in our farm here. We have called them hybrid etrobangus or hybrid etro. In this farm now, as far as Nigeria is concerned, it's only one breed of catfish we don't have already in this farm. we have almost everything. Breed, if you have longifilins, if you have normal, you want normal clearers, you want crossbreed of longifilins and clearers, you have hybrid clearers, whatever you want, we have them here. We can breed it for you, which water size you want. But one thing I always remind farmers is hybrid is good. But if you are sure that you want to harvest your feed with fish within the next 4 months, do not buy hybrid.
Why?
Because they will not give you the required results. Now, hybrids at 4 months are bigger than clearers, but the weight is lighter. Do you see the differences?
And it's about weight.
And it's all about weight in catfish. Selling, you are all about weight. We're not looking at this big. No. When you weigh them on scale, that's when they will give you result. Hybrid, you have to stay with them to 7 to 8 months. That's my own professional advice. If you mistakenly sell your hybrid at 5 months, the buyers will be at they will be the one enjoying more resources than you. But at that early stage, if you want your fish at 4 months, 5 months, you need clearers longifilins. You need clearers. At that stage, they will give you a required result. Hybrid go beyond 1 year. So the more you keep your hybrid, the go big. Now, maybe after the end of this video, I will show you where hybrid is. Then you compare it with these clearers. You will know what I'm talking about. Do you understand me? That's how hybrid here. We have hybrid presently, fingerlings inside. But we always tell them, how many months do you want to grow your fish? If you ask me for professional advice, okay, I want to stock this fish in the next 4 months, 5 months, don't go for hybrid. Okay, I want to stock this fish in the next 8 months, go for hybrid. Hybrid will give you times 3, times 4 of your results.
Okay.
That's the differences.
Now, in fish growers now, after you start in the morning and evening feeding, and then you've made all your calculations, what are the other basic things you need to do so you end up selling them off as and when you've already arranged them?
Salting is very, very important.
Salting is salting for...
Salting.
Okay.
Separating the big ones and the small one is very, very important. At least every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or within every month. If you want to be salting every month, you separate the big ones and the small ones so that everyone can grow adequately and everyone can take the size of the feed they're supposed to take. And competition of strength for food will be the same. So salting is very important. Every month you can do the salting of it. And changing of water every 3 to 4 days or 5 days, minimum 5 days. You have constant change of water. Within 4 months, your fish will be, some of them will be table size, 1 point something, 0.9, 0.8. That's what you see it whereabout.
Let's talk about fish cannibalism.
Feed cannibalism can be reduced when you actually do 2 times feeding a day. The 2 times feeding a day is that you feed your fish to satisfaction. You have almost 2%, 0 point something percent cannibalism. But when you just come, you pour feed, either you don't check whether they are satisfied, because when the feed are satisfied, you will know, you will stand, you'll be giving them, you'll see that the rushing has reduced. When you discover that the rushing has reduced, and some of them are not even picking as they're supposed to pick again, that's when you know that your feed are satisfied. And you have less percent of cannibalism. That's one thing. But if the fish are not properly fed, you have cannibalism. Sometimes you just drain your water and you see a head, skeleton of an head or a skeleton of one of them that they've eaten. You understand? So that's one thing you need to understand.
Okay. So now, when it comes to what's it called now, and the floating feed and the what's it called now?
Sinking.
The sinking feed. Which one is the most one that doesn't go to waste? Because as far as I'm concerned, I think the one that sinks will end up going down there and then get melted, and then probably them not picking them.
Well, the only advice I normally do is this: if you have a concrete pond where you change water daily and you have access to feed, I prefer you use for concrete pond, use your floating feed. because you'll be changing your water every now and then. If you are using 18 pond, if you have access to sinking feed, because some of them, the feed will mix with the sand there, and the fish will go down and eat from the sand. So if you have sinking, depending on what you have accessible, all of them are good feed. Depending on, but me, if I have if I have an 18 pond, I prefer using sinking feed. If I have concrete pond or trampoline pond or rubber pond, I'll prefer to use what? Prefer to use floating feed. These are the two differences.
Okay. Recently, they said that a table-sized fish is going for 1,800. Fish farmers are actually smart. What do you think is the market viability of fish right now? Because I believe up to now we still import.
See, the margin is wide, because the last time I heard, they said we have about 3 point something million, the gap to fill up per day of consumption of feed. That's the statistic analysis from United Unions. They gave the analysis. So there is large market for it. The only problem we have now is the feed like brook lamb that we usually buy for 10,000 naira has now escalated to 13,500. So you see, the cost of feed has also increased. Definitely the price of per scale will also rise. So imagine now, maybe I feed my fish with 600 naira and I have 1,000. Maybe I feed them with 600 naira per kg, and I per each one of them, and I end up selling my fish 115 or 116 or 117. Just minus the calculation. You know that definitely I'm going to smile to the bank. Very well.
Okay, they recently declared sort of a merger in aquaculture sector, which is in line with food security in Nigeria. Do you think there is any way we can actually, how do you think they can actually subsidize the price of fish feed? Because the farmers too are crying that because of this subsidy removal, it has actually affected food and the feed in the markets.
As it is now, the feed has escalated, and the only way government has to come into our aid in terms of helping us to subsidize the feed. If the feeds are a bit subsidized due to the materials they use, like corn, soybeans, fish meals, and all these things are expensive now. So if government can find a way to rally around it to subsidize it for us, definitely we'll get those feed at a cheaper rate. Imagine skirting. Skirting is now going for almost 20,000 naira per bag. Aqua is going for 16,000 to 17,000 per bag, and it's 15 kg. Not that it's 25 kg like the poultry side. Now, Blue Crown is 13,500. So if government can find a way of subsidizing the price for us, I think both we and the consumers will be at the safer side, and everybody can have it at a very subsidized rate.
Okay. Now, so let's look at how can one improvise from feeding? Because I learned that there are some sort of way you can actually generate maggots for fish and the rest. How healthy?
Yes, people does that, but I don't like to talk about it because people consuming it will be at the repercussion of human beings. So I am not in support of using maggot or using fish waste and chicken waste to feed fish. Now, you can use other leaves. There are leaves you can actually use to mix with either your dusa. Do you understand me now? And some of them, this like we have what we call dogweed. We have dogweed. Now, you can actually use dogweed because it's highly proteinous. Maybe after we finish, I'll show you. You can grow them in your backyard, and when you want to feed, all you just need to look for is to look for your salt, your additives to add to it. Then mix it with the dogweed. Then maybe get dusa, since it's proteinous content. Then mix and do sinking. Instead of using maggot and all sort of things to rear something that human being will consume with chemicals. That's just my suggestion.
starting plan, what can you roughly say in a few minutes as to these are the things that you need to watch out for in a fish?
Well, one of the things you need to watch out for is your location, because you might, if you don't have a good location, you wake up in the morning and somebody has gone away with the entire fish. So you need a good location, security-wise. Then you need a proper where you have water. Then you get your fish from a reliable farm. Then you have your feed available. Man, at a relaxed mind, your fish are safe. That's just what you need. You don't need drugs here and there. As far as your fish are taken, your fingerlings are taken from a reliable farms, you don't need drugs to put. You don't even have what we call mortality. Just normal, your pH of your water is normal and everything is okay. You go out. We just need your location, your good location, place is safe. You have your concrete pond or your earthen pond or your trampoline, and that's all.
Okay. Now, someone who once said that fish pond farming, basically, you must have passion, not just to put profit. How factual is that? If you don't have passion, it's not that. Because something can
You see, the problem is that it's not frustrating. I just told you from beginning. You take 1,000 fish. Tell yourself what I will spend. This is what I want to spend on this fish. And go by it. When at the long run you change, definitely it will give you required result. It's garbage in, garbage out. It is what you give the fish, it will bring out for you. There is no two way behind it. So, yeah, some people go into it and they frustrate and go out of it because they don't really have the technical knowledge of how grow-out looks like. So some of them go into the system and if it's not profitable. Who told you? I just gave you an estimate. Now there was a farm recently that we were working out, and the person spent around 3 million, no, 2 point something million, and in fact he has spent roughly large money already, because he has spent maybe 2.8 million. So when we came, we calculated the number of bags. Then we now calculated the number of fish. He has over 12,000. And he has spent 2.8 million. Divide 2.8 million from 12,000. Each of those fish at that time has only consumed 180 naira. That was when he kept quiet. He has not spent anything. So for his mind, he has spent, but you don't know what you stock. Look at what you kept in your pond first. What is the quantity of it? Then you now divide it by what you spent. That's when you know what you've spent. But you just, because you spent 2 point something million, you felt you spend money. Yes, you spend. But what has each one of them consumed? That's what you need to ask. So that's the problem we have.
Fish business seems to be a calculating.
You have to be calculating.
Is there a special way to calculate, or is it normal arithmetic we know?
That's just shall I say that, let me use the word gwari gwari. And this is just a simple way you can understand. So that if I told you that if I'm using now the bags, the kg to calculate now, probably they will not understand. But that's why I use it in cash, so that any learned, even on illiterate person will understand what I'm trying to communicate. When you have 500,000, yes, you have money. You have 1,000 fish. Divide 500,000 by 1,000. It's 500 naira per each one fish. You have 300,000. Divide it by 1,000 fish. That means per each one fish, we only consume 300 naira. So there is no, let's say, magic. That is how it is. So if you want to spend 300,000, put it at the back of your mind that when you are ready to harvest, each one fish has only consumed 300 naira, and it is what you get in, you get out. That means, as far as I'm concerned, those fish will not go beyond 0.5 per kg.
Okay. Now, in your own opinion, what is the major problem that is faced in the market?
The major problem we face in the market today as a fish farmer, it's the middlemen. Okay. You spend your resources, you buy, you stock. When it comes to your farm, they price fish as if you went to steal it. And when the thing gets to the market, they will sell it 2,500, 3,000 per kg to the consumers. But in your farm, they will be dragging you with 1.5. That's the problem we have. It's the middleman problem we have in this country. Even in fish farming business, that's the problem we have.
So now, if unfortunately you happen to probably see the incoming Minister of Agriculture, what advice would you say you're going to give in terms of aquaculture, how to boost it and make it to become how it gets to be? What is your advice?
Well, if I'm happen to have a seat with minister, these new farmers or whosoever intending farmers to local environment, they need to have extension workers that are into this business, real extension worker, to sensitize people going into it, how to go by it. Fish farming is very lucrative. The problem is that people doesn't have the technical knowledge of it. That's why most people run out of the business. But it's a safe business to go in. But it's because of most people just venture into it because they have resources, because they have this person does it and it's okay. That's why they entered into it. My advice is, if the incoming minister they can as well employ or seminars, awareness campaign, sensitize people area by area, the ones that are interested. This is how you do it, this is how you do it, and your result will be out. Find people to monitor the program, and you discover that everybody will be at safer side, even those intending with their their pension money to venture into it will be safe. That's just it.
This is Agricultural Research Council of Nigerian Television. The program has been Aqua Farming, where we brought to you fish grow out. So if you're out there, you want to know what it's all about, I'm sure you've learned one or two about fish growing out. That is the mathematics about farming fish. Until some other time, have a wonderful day ahead. Bye for now.